Right, good morning everybody. Justin Flitter here. Delighted to be able to spend the next hour with you in this first AI for Business webinar that's proudly sponsored and brought to you with ANZ. I have a chat window open. Can someone please let me know, can you hear the music playing? That would be great. We will get started in a few minutes. Sarah, thank you very much. Thanks everyone. This is going to be a brilliant session. Hopefully you all get to learn a lot as we go through today. So please let me know, where are you joining us from around Aotearoa? Love to hear where you're dialing in from today as we kick off this AI for Business series. We are bringing you 6 fortnightly webinars kicking off today. Morris, nice to see you from Whakatane. Beautiful place. Frank from Christchurch. Denise is in Nelson. Brilliant. Lovely part of the world. Nikki's in Palmerston North. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We'll just give it another minute for people to join us before we get started. All right. Right, so kia ora everyone. Welcome to this first session, this first AI for Business webinar today. My name is Justin Flitter. I am the founder of New Zealand.ai, and I'm delighted to be your host in this series of webinars. It's great to have you all here and joining us from around the country. These webinars are really designed for small and medium-sized businesses, whether you're the business owner, whether you're a manager, whether you're working in those business, whatever your role, you are going to find insights and value out of attending this series of webinars, really designed to help give us all a good understanding of the capability of AI and how you can use it practically in your business and in the work that you are doing. So a little bit of housekeeping to get us started. Many of you have already picked up the chat thread. You're welcome to ask questions. I will try and monitor this as we go through the session. Otherwise, we'll have Q&A at the end. And the webinar is being recorded. All of these webinars will be recorded and will be available in the event in the Academy, where you all are now, for you to be able to watch on demand and share afterwards. So I started AI New Zealand in 2017, and it's quite astonishing to think that today all of us can walk around with a know-it-all digital assistant in our back pockets, capable of helping us with almost any problem. Back in 2017, we started to help people like us to understand why, where, and how to leverage artificial intelligence in our business. And 8 years later, the pace of change is absolutely astonishing. AI can automate previously manual workflows, curate and produce content faster than any of us. It's how humans scale awesome and average stuff too, as it happens. So we speak at a lot of public events and industry events. We work with leadership teams on strategy and governance and operations to boost AI adoption. And we provide practical skills training in person and online here in our AI Academy, which is now over 1,700 members. So what do you need to know? How do you become powered by AI and irreplaceable? So we're going to take you through this program of 6 webinars, 6 fortnightly webinars. Today we're going to give you an introduction, an overview of the capability of AI and how it's the mindset, some of the things that you need to be thinking about with adoption into your business, into your work. The next session, we'll be talking about the AI for Business playbook and some of the strategic initiatives that you'll need to take on board to do to successfully drive adoption through your organization. The next session will be on tedious tasks, those things that we have to do to keep the wheels spinning, those repetitive tasks and how we might be able to automate those. The webinar after that will be focused on sales and marketing and how we can unlock growth for the key drivers of the business. Webinar 5 will get into AI agents and more workflow automation. And finally, for webinar 6, we're going to bring together 4 or 5 different businesses from around New Zealand to share how they're using artificial intelligence so that you can hear their use cases and the value that it's bringing to their businesses. All right, so what are we going to cover today? Today, we're going to give you an overview of AI for business. We're going to cover different tools and applications. We're going to give you plenty of examples of common use cases. We'll understand some of the data privacy and security protocols. And at the end, I'm going to give you a prompt workflow to create a master prompt for you so that you can give that to an AI tool that you're working with to help it, to give it the context that AI tools need to craft responses, to write content, emails, proposals, do research, all sorts of stuff, more in line with your role and your thinking, the context around the work that you do. So first, let's take a look at what artificial intelligence is. So AI, of course, is nothing new. It dates back to the 1940s and 50s with Alan Turing's 1950s paper on computing machinery and intelligence that proposed the Turing test. And then John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence at the Dartmouth summer camp in 1956. Since then, we've gone through a couple of AI winters when corporate and government funding dried up. Then the internet was created and compute power developed, and us humans gained these devices and the capability to create and publish vast amounts of content. And it was, this content that created the public data sets. These AI systems need to learn the patterns of human existence. Today, these large language models that we've become familiar with, generative AI, generative pre-trained transformers, as in ChatGPT and the like, have combined machine learning with natural language processing with all of this data. So they've effectively scraped the internet. They've listened, read, and watched all the publicly available content, and some they didn't have consent for as well. And these models have been designed to be prediction engines. They're mathematical models designed to predict the next word in the sentence, one word at a time. But they do a lot more than just replicating patterns that already exist. While they don't have explicit memory storage, right? Like databases. They do encode that knowledge implicitly in their weights through the training process. And I promise you, this is as technical as we're getting today for people, but it's a good grounding with understanding. So they don't have explicit memory storage like databases. They do encode that knowledge implicitly in the weights through the training process. The knowledge isn't retrieved, it's reconstructed from those learned patterns, which is actually far more sophisticated than simple storage and retrieval. So they're generating an output based on what they've learned before and the context and the query that you're giving it. Right? Okay. Now we've got a little bit of a lay of the land. Why? Why are we thinking about using AI in our business? And typically, I've been working with companies for the last 8 years on AI strategy and activation and enablement. And these are the three main reasons why companies want to be utilizing AI, right? So first of all, the obvious productivity gain, right? We want to be able to get rid of the tedious, tiresome, repetitive tasks so that us humans can focus on the things that we do really, really well, right? Which has a lot of EQ, it's talking, it's building partnerships and relationships. It's that domain knowledge and contextual thinking, the critical thinking part of the business. So building out productivity is really important. The second is relevance, right? A lot of companies are starting to build their AI muscle. They're starting to build capability, and a number of businesses are starting to realize like they're going to really struggle to compete with competitors who are 10 times more effective than them in the future. And so making sure that our employees, our people have the skills to create sustainable careers is really, really important, right? Future employees are going to be looking to the business. They want to be working with a company that's adopting and leveraging artificial intelligence so they can be the best that they possibly can be. And so if you're on the back foot, you might struggle to hire or retain those people. And the third is innovation, right? Using artificial intelligence and different types of AI, whether that's large language models, whether that's computer vision or machine learning, to create new innovative ways of solving problems, delivering customer experiences, is really, really important to them. So those are kind of the three reasons why companies are looking at AI at the moment. And so next we want to focus on where's the ROI? What are the tasks? Where do we actually start thinking about finding the value for AI within our business? And sure, there's going to be some common use cases with pretty much any business. And then for each business, you'll find some unique processes or workflows that you have, which will take a little bit more thinking or problem solving around how we're going to do it. So these are the four buckets where we typically group use cases together. The first is search, right? No doubt all of you are using AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or Gemini or Copilot as a Google search replacement, right? They're really good at it. Instead of you searching Google and Google coming back and telling you, hey, here's a billion pages for you to go and sift through to find the answer, these AI tools are able to create a blended search result based on your context to present some rich information back to you to help you solve a problem or create something new or learn about something. The next is, and we want that search to be also internal. So we'll talk more about that as we go as well, right? So it's not just about searching the web, it's about making knowledge that you have within the business more easily accessible to people as well. Okay, serve. We want to serve up information to people who need it faster and better than what we've been able to before. Now that could be a chatbot, it could be an AI agent, it could be using a search tool on the website so that people can ask questions, kind of like a ChatGPT experience, or where the information is stored in PDFs or somewhere around the website. So instead of them having to go through a mega menu and drop down and find the right PDF and read it all, these AI tools might be able to surface that up to them really, really quickly. And we'll give you some examples of that as we go through today, right? The next is create. So generative AI is becoming even better at writing content and documents and emails and text-based stuff. We can use AI tools to create music, to create images, to create video content, tools like VO3 and the new one sitting in Google Gemini called Nano Banana. Definitely want to have a look at that. It's just been coming phenomenally good at creating video content based on images or of us or things that we upload, and being able to work with those in a remarkably creative way. And the last, not by least, but the last in this list is enhance, right? How do we enhance our people by connecting disparate data sets that we have around the business to surface up insights and data and information and knowledge to people much quicker than what we've ever been able to do, so that business can move forward faster. And we'll talk a little bit more about that one as well as we go. Okay, so there are a ton of different use cases, right? There are a ton of different examples of ways that we can do these, and I'm gonna talk through a bunch of them now to hopefully, I guess, trigger some thoughts in your mind around how these might apply into your work and into your business. And over the next few weeks, as we go through this series, we'll demo and we'll showcase these to you so you can learn how to do it. And we're also running a whole lot of other webinars and workshops and tutorials and things like that in our AI Academy all the time, so that you can build up these skills, right? Yeah, I did drop the slide, so I'm just going to talk through a few. Actually, I'll share back. I'll share it back. Here we go. Okay. All right. Back to it. Right. So use case number one with search, right? So we talked a bit about this, creating blended search results from multiple sources in seconds with structured answers, references, and follow-up angles, right? So this is where you might be researching a topic, you might be researching a business idea, you might be doing some strategic planning. There's all sorts of applications for this. Effectively, you want, instead of your assistant or a colleague or someone else doing a piece of research, you can go out and find that information much faster. We can create a task in ChatGPT or Copilot or any of these tools now to monitor competitor websites for changes, so that we can understand what they're doing, what they're changing. We can do deep research on any topic to understand really complex scenarios, to play out different perspectives if we want to challenge our ideas. And we can do things like, Copilot has access to your SharePoint. Google Gemini works in Google Drive. We'll talk more about the tools soon. But even in likes of Perplexity or ChatGPT, you can connect in your other business tools that you use, so you can search for content in those environments in a useful way. Okay, next up, writing. We can generate drafts of blogs and emails and proposals and social posts and tenders and responses to RFPs. And we can do that with our business, with our company style, tone of voice, all of those things that are important, so that it doesn't sound like ChatGPT wrote it. It actually is written in the way that we like things done for our business. We can repurpose into multiple formats. So, for example, if you've got a blog post, or maybe you've done a webinar, you could then turn that transcription into a blog post, a LinkedIn post. You could summarize it for an email out to your customers, or you could create slides off the back of it. One that we don't mention today, that's really great tool for building presentations, is Gamma, Gamma, Gamma dot. Oh, now I have to go and figure it out. Gamma app. Anyway, you can find it. Really, really good at creating slides, right? We can generate statements of work and proposals or presentations from meeting notes or project briefs. So we're thinking about what are the tasks that spin off from a particular action, right? We can create complex documents from combining multiple knowledge sources using our company templates and things like that as well, right? So we're certainly seeing in lots of different industries now. Yes, thank you, Claire and David, appreciate that. And Sean, all of the slides are in the recording of the video, so you'll be able to access them all there, right? So we can do a lot with writing. Large language models, really good at writing stuff, right? But we've always got to check. This is not, you know, we know by now that we're not taking it verbatim. We need a human in the loop to be reviewing, right? So we did some research. We're a part of a research project with Cultivate, which is a recruitment agency. And one of the insights that they uncovered was that business leaders now, one of the top skills that business leaders are looking to hire for is critical thinking, right? That ability to bring, to understand what's relevant, what's useful, how to synthesize and critically understand the results that these AI tools are presenting, so that we can make sure that they're accurate and relevant and those sorts of things, right? So we'll talk more about that as we go. Right, use case number 3, creating images, audio, and video. So we can use text prompts. So in ChatGPT, you can say create an image and describe an image, and it will create it for you. Or Midjourney is another image generation tool that I love. Nano Banana has just come out. A lot of these kind of AI assistants will all do this now. So images are really great. A lot of the images that I'm using in my presentations and on the website and those sorts of things are all generated using AI tools, right? And we can do that on brand. So we can give the tools instructions around, here's our logo, here's the font, here's the colors that we like, so that they'll create images that are more in tune with the way that our brand guidelines and those sorts of things. We can use voice tools like 11 Labs to create a brand voice for our radio adverts, for videos or podcasts. We can use platforms like HeyGen to create a digital avatar to present training and customer service videos. Just on that, from an audio perspective, have a look at, if you haven't already, have a look at notebooklm.google.com, notebooklm.google.com. Really great platform to to curate a knowledge source, and then it will create a podcast for you off the back of it as well. So two American voices discussing the content that you have in that library, and it will create a video as well. So not on brand or anything like that, just useful for your research and education. It's free to get started with it. Okay, meetings drive business. Meetings are everything to businesses, right? So many of us will have seen these AI tools appearing in meetings. You can use AI tools now to take meeting notes and send attendees summaries and action items. We can then turn those meetings into statement of work, maybe a standard operating procedure or project briefs or whatever that downstream thing is. And we can use that knowledge that's captured in those meetings to create a company knowledge base, which includes all of that really valuable customer and project information that others in the business might need to know now or at a later stage, right? And often that information is stuck in here in a silo. And when, of course, when people leave the business or change roles, not always is that information downloaded to make available for everyone else. Right, so knowledge, right? This is about giving the AI tools contextual understanding, right? Famous word someone said some point in time was ChatGPT is the world's greatest consultant that knows nothing about your business. And ain't it true? So we've got to give it context around who we are and what we're doing, right? So that combination of your knowledge, your company knowledge, combining it or then connecting that into large language models, AI tools and agents, and then your experience, right? Your lived experience. And this is not about AI doing the work for you. This is about collaborating with AI and combining these three elements to be able to create a superpower for you, really. So really, really important to think about those three attributes: the domain knowledge, how we're connecting that into AI tools, alongside your lived experience and your contextual understanding to bring that to life, right? So meetings tools, and yes, Jamie, like we're all with AI app fatigue right now, and pretty much every day I'm getting emails and queries going, which ones do we use for what? And it can be quite a challenge, but one we're happy to help you navigate. So these are some common meeting tools, right? So you create an account, you connect in your Zoom or your Teams or your Gmail, your Outlook into it. And then when you attend a meeting, it's automatically transcribing what's been said in that meeting and able then for you to ask questions of that information, to send you summaries and action items, things to do off the back of it, right? Now, the issue with some of these is, and certainly some accountants and CFOs have hit me up about this, is that in the business, they might have 5, 10, or 50 people all using different meeting tools to capture that knowledge to help them with that productivity boost. And as it happens, that can create a few risks, right? Because that knowledge is not always, it's not always a paid account. It could be a free account. And so that knowledge is not being captured. It's not being stored within your IT tenancy. It's somewhere around the web. And so that important customer information, business knowledge that's been shared and discussed in that meeting is outside your tenancy. And that could pose some IP leakage or data privacy concerns, or those sorts of things which you might want to consider as part of your AI policy, right? So whichever one, I mean, as we say, it's really important. We really want companies using AI tools that are sitting within your tenancy, right? So that your data is being stored in the same place. And these tools you can connect in SharePoint or Drive and those sorts of things, so that that content is stored stored in your tenancy. But often those are with a paid account, so it's just worth checking that stuff off, right? Okay, so this kind of idea, this concept is really useful and important, and I'm gonna, this is kind of the last slide to reinforce this, right? So we are capturing information from around our business. It might be data coming off machinery for predictive maintenance. It might be transcriptions coming in from meetings that we're having with customers or staff on projects. It could be documents that can be created. It could be images that are being created. Um, uh, Whatever it happens to be, that is all being collected in our knowledge base, where we're starting to build up that organizational IP, right? So often that's just stored in people's brains. Gradually, using these tools, we want to be able to absorb that so that it's accessible for everybody. And that helps enhance capability, right? We can make that information accessible to staff via a chatbot, an agent, an AI agent. We can make it available via text or voice in any language almost that we like. And so there's lots of different ways that we can make knowledge accessible if we're just capturing it and utilizing it in the right place, right? Also things like, if you're doing customer service emails, and your staff are responding in person to each of those customer support emails, then those are all rich data sets that you can use to train an AI tool to start responding automatically to customer queries in that same tone of voice, right? So you can start scaling authenticity without it having to sound like a robot's responding to everything. Lots of things that we can do. Right, here's an example, right? Let's give you some practical examples. So this one was for a property maintenance company. They have lots of contractors around the country that are going out and doing work, repairing stuff and rental properties. And those contractors have to remember the right job code to put on the paperwork so that they get paid properly, right? Now, of course, that's really tricky for people to do. And so the back office team was spending lots of time every month reconciling those job codes. So we can create an agent or chatbot that might be deployed to an app or WhatsApp, so that they can use text or voice to tell the AI system what they're working on, to return the job code that it thinks is most closely aligned to it. And if needed, we can also surface up the health and safety or other compliance requirements that they might have to do for that particular job. And this is Envoil. So these guys have been running for as long as I can remember, since 2017, 18. And so they're using computer vision inside industrial warehouses, manufacturing, distribution centers to help with health and safety training, right? So their tools allow people to be able to see like when they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, so that we can monitor for potential health and safety issues. And they can ring alarm bells on site. They might be able to stop machinery if needed be as well. But this is a really practical way of how to use AI to reduce those workplace safety incidents. And it's not monitoring for faces or anything like that. It's literally just picking up whether people have the right PPE or something's in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? So these guys are doing extraordinarily well building this platform out.
Every business, organization, and community group needs an AI ambassador to influence the practical and responsible use of AI. Acabamos de relanzar nuestro curso de embajadoras, una iniciativa de aprendizaje y...
All right, so hang on, let me see if I can pause this.
Organization and community group needs an AI...
I can't pause it. So...
every business, organization, and community group needs an AI...
do this. Right, so hopefully you heard that. This is my digital avatar. And I have used a platform called HeyGen to create this avatar. You might have seen the Skinny Mobile TV ad. So they also use this platform to build out their solution as well. So I went into a studio. Actually, went into the Employers and Manufacturers Association studio, and I took 5 minutes of me talking to camera, and I uploaded that into a platform called HeyGen. I had to verify that it was actually me, so I couldn't just, you can't just upload a video of your manager or your boss and start creating content using this tool. So I uploaded that. It creates a digital avatar, including all of my hand gestures. It creates a voice clone, although I've used another platform called 11 Labs to create the voice clone. And so now whenever I want to create a video, instead of having to stand in front of the camera and remember my words and all of that kind of stuff, I can just copy and paste the script into HeyGen. I can choose the language that I want to speak in, and I press export. And of course, I can add in all the slides, photos around the business or other information that we want to do in it. But in terms of being able to make, training content or employee onboarding, customer service videos, all of that type of stuff is now remarkably easy using an AI platform like HeyGen. Okay, back to share screen with you. So, tools, right? We love to talk about the tools. So, AI assistants, I'm categorizing these. Most of you will be familiar with ChatGPT, and most of you will be familiar with ChatGPT. And Claude from Anthropic is another one. Perplexity has got to be between ChatGPT and Perplexity. I love them both. These are the ones that I use the most. I know other people who just love using Claude. They love the way that it works, its interface, its style, how it writes, all of those different things. These are what I'm kind of grouping together as everyday AI assistants. They are your co-pilot. They are your 2IC. They're going to be able to help you navigate through challenges, create content, do tasks, draft, do all sorts of stuff, right? Developers are using tools like Claude to help write code, to come up with proof of concepts or mock-up ideas. We're going to run a session on ChatGPT later in the month if you want to deep dive into that. Perplexity has a new browser called Comet, so you can get stuff done in the browser, and we can run another session on that as well. So with these tools, it's really important to think about the data privacy and security around all of them, right? So certainly with ChatGPT, I highly encourage you to have a paid account. It's Chat ChatGPT Pro. It's $40 a month, and you can have the option then, so none of the content that you're uploading is able to be shared to train the algorithm. Claude, I think, might use some of your chats to train the algorithm, but certainly not none of your content. And Perplexity certainly doesn't use. And again, I'm using paid accounts on all of these, and I highly recommend you use a paid account with them. Right. Air New Zealand has rolled out ChatGPT Enterprise to over 3,000 employees so that they can scale custom GPTs across the business. TSB Bank is using ChatGPT Enterprise. There's also a Teams account. So, like, again, lots of information around their data privacy and how they manage all of that. But there should still be guidelines on what information people are uploading into these tools, and we'll talk more about that in the next slide. Next up, we've got business productivity tools. So these are Copilot exists within 365. So yes, you can use Copilot for free, but Copilot for M365 is integrated into Teams, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all of the Microsoft Business Suite that you'll have. Google Gemini, of course, is integrated right across your Google Workspace. So these operate within your tenancy. So they provide a safer place for staff to use company documents with AI tools, right? Then you've got these AI for business platforms. Now, sometimes companies don't want to be using Copilot or Gemini, or they're doing something as well, but they want to be able to scale agents and workflows across their business in a secure way. And so they're using tools like Arcanum, so Numa from Arcanum, which is out of Wellington, and Autohive.com as well, also out of Wellington, where you can create agents. You can connect in your business tools like SharePoint and Google Drive and HubSpot and Xero and all of these different types of things that you're probably using every day to be able to create workflows and automations, kind of like custom GPTs, but way better, right? And in a secure environment. And then next up is the enterprise AI solutions. And so in New Zealand, we have two. These Arcanum, Autohive, SmartSpace, and Superhuman are all New Zealand-based solutions. SmartSpace is based in Tauranga, and so they have an AI agent builder platform that is deployed on Microsoft Azure, super secure, incredibly robust, does some remarkable capability in there, and Superhuman allows you to scale generative AI across the business with custom solutions and those sorts of things, right? Remarkable people doing some fantastic work, right? Okay, we talked a little bit about data privacy, so I want to give you a couple of rules of thumb. Whoops, one ahead, right? So prioritize using paid or enterprise accounts over free public tools. If you are going to use a free tool, then we're not uploading anything that you wouldn't be posting onto Facebook or X or anything like that, right? We're certainly never uploading any sensitive data into AI tools that are outside your tenancy. And we will get into creating guidelines in the next webinar, but creating really clear guidelines so that staff can make informed decisions around where, how, and why they're using AI, right? So we want to educate employees on the risk of IP leakage and the usage of third-party tools, and making sure that we've got robust protocols and practices around how we're selecting those. And we're going to regularly review the data privacy terms and conditions for the AI tools that we're using, right? Because they can change, and we want to make sure that they still, are abiding by the guidelines that we want for our business, New Zealand regulations, or the regulations that we have to abide to in the markets that we're operating in, right? Okay, so lots of fantastic questions. Um, right. Few minutes to go. This has been a whirlwind of a session. Thank you so much for being a part of it today. I promised you at the beginning of the session that I was going to give you a master prompt, a workflow. This is super, super useful, right? So that doesn't matter when you're starting a new chat about a task, or you want to create a custom GPT, or you're working in a project or in chat GPT, or any of these, any tools really. You've got a PDF which is effectively a master prompt to give the AI tool the context around who you are and what you're doing. So here it is. The prompt is, I'm the CEO at New Zealand.ai. Create a master prompt for me. Ask me every question you need to give me the most context possible. Now, it's going to create a long list of questions. It took me at least half an hour to answer all of those questions. Then you're going to paste those questions and answers back into the same chat to create a single structured master prompt, right? And you can output as a PDF or a Word doc or text or whatever you want to be able to do, right? So that is a really good way to start in helping these AI tools return results and write content and produce things or think in the right mindset, so that the outputs are more contextual, more relevant and useful for you, right? And your business, right? Really, really, really useful. So I will, just as an exercise, I'll bring up my ChatGPT if I can. Okay, so here's the master prompt for me. So here's the prompt at the beginning. Then it's like, then it's asked me all of these questions, right? So quite a lot of detail. I've pasted in my responses, and then it's giving me a master prompt back around to frame all of that up, right? I've even put in some of the brand guidelines and things like that I lead. So yeah, super, super useful, right? Before we wrap up and go into questions, we run in person and lots of online content in here. So you'll see the upcoming webinars that we've got in this. This is AI webinar series. You'll see a ton of webinars in here that you can, some are free, some are paid, to be able to join. We've got a series on Copilot coming up. Asa Cox is joining us about Numa. We've got a custom GPT session in here. We've got a couple of newbies sessions, all sorts of stuff. AutoHive's joining us for a deep dive into their tool. And Peter Mangin's doing a session on strategy and marketing. So there's always tons coming up. We also have our AI for Toolkit webinar series. So this is a paid subscription. It's $59 a month. And every Friday at 11 a.m. We host a 30-40 minute webinar on a different way that you can use AI at work. So different tools, different prompts, different workflows, all of those types of things, right? You can also book in a meeting with me at the top if you want to, or you can just use the chat function to send me a message, right? Okay. So in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be running through the AI for Business playbook. These are 6 practical steps that every business should be taking to drive adoption practically and responsibly. So leadership, understanding the governance protocols, identifying use cases, figuring out what the risks might be and how we're going to mitigate them, how we're choosing and selecting tools, and finally, how we're doing the training, right? And that Cultivate AI at Work report that I mentioned earlier, one of the remarkable things that they uncovered was that only 13% of people have been provided company sponsored AI training, right? So a lot of people are just deploying ChatGPT or Copilot with no training whatsoever, and of course that's going to create problems where people are going to be trying to use these things and they don't work as they expected, or they just don't know how to use them effectively. So that's really, really important that we're upskilling our people to make a good good use of these tools and make sure that we're bedding them into our everyday workflow, right? We're not just using them to draft an email or as a Google search replacement. We're actually embedding them in our everyday workflows and processes. So we've got time for a little bit of questions. One of the other programs that we run is our AI Ambassador program. So these are for people that are responsible for influencing the practical and responsible use of AI for business. And we run a 2-hour workshop followed by a self-paced course if you want the certificate. And it's a lot of really practical information around how you are going to drive AI adoption within your business. Sue, good question. ChatGPT settings has a personalization section where you can add custom instructions, where you can build your profile, etc. Yes, you can, and adding in your master prompt into there is a jolly good way to do it. But sometimes you're running chats where you don't want that. So it can be it's useful and it can be problematic too, right? Because some of the times that you want to be able to run a chat, but you don't want it to have that context. You want to be able to do it thinking from a completely different perspective, or perhaps you're doing some work with your kids' homework and you don't want your business mindset to be coming through with that example. So it certainly does work well to have that set up as a custom GPT or in a project or adding it in rather than putting it in the custom instructions, which is going to apply to everything, in my experience anyway. Jessica, you can, yes, I'm happy to send that out to you. They're all in the Academy, very easy to hopefully jump in and find. Right, any other questions, people? Love to hear your questions. What did you think about today? Was this useful? Did you find this helpful? I know there's a lot to cover. Hopefully there's lots of questions that you have, which, we're not going to be able to answer everything today, but over the next, few weeks when we're running these sessions, we'll get deeper and deeper into this. I'm really looking forward to doing it with you, doing it together. Thanks, Donovan. Really appreciate your feedback. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Claire. Right, so this session is being recorded and will be available online in the event page. We'll send you out a notification with it when it's ready, with a couple of links to follow up with and useful resources for you as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll stop sharing for a little bit so you can tune back into our AI studio here in Beach Haven in Auckland. I'm really grateful to have you join us today. Thanks so much for being a part of it, and I look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks' time, if not in a little bit sooner at one of our other sessions. So, thanks everyone. Really appreciate it. Bye. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate, Polly.